a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one. that's
Yes,
gonna
what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum, the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet, on the planet, in the atmosphere, everywhere. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. The man to my left, my dog, Mr. George Carmona.
It's week 4.
Already.
Week 4, baby.
Already,
Let's go.
dude. It sucks, man. I think
Hey,
it sucks.
this is like the worst part. It's funny. Isaiah had brought up that I was a teacher not too long ago. And the thing that always used to throw me off, bro, is like this upcoming week, after that, it's progress report time. Like truly.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we're 5 weeks in. It's time to see, have you been loafing? Is your offensive line really as shitty as we think it is? Can it get better? Is your quarterback going to come back? All these things. And then I think in a couple of weeks, we need to do like a parent-teacher conference episode where we can reenact how a parent-teacher conference would go with some of these coaches and their decisions.
Bro, you know, one time, parent-teacher conference, my junior year of high school, I had just started playing football. So I grew up a soccer kid, and then I fell in love with football. And my junior year, I was the quarterback. And for parent-teacher conference, I think we were like 6-1. And my mom met my high school football coach, shouts to Coach Brosnan. And I did something. I was dating this girl. She was a fucking nightmare, bro. And we broke up during the football season. And then she started dating the left tackle to like get back at me. And then it was a nightmare. Because then he was like one of our best players. And then he ended up quitting the team also. But I say all that. My mom and my coach and I are outside of like the dean's office. And I forgot what I said. I said something. And my coach just slapped me.
Like upside the head?
No, like
Or
like across the face.
Damn.
Because I said I think I was
Will
being
Smith
like
style.
I was being like rude to my mom, and he said, "What the fuck's wrong with you, you stupid fuck?" Like my coach used to talk to us like that. He would say a lot of others. Mind you, this is 2007, way different times.
It was allowed.
A lot of crazy shit.
It was
said.
allowed back then.
I was made fun of for being Greek, like I was being cooked. So he slapped me. What the fuck's wrong with you talking to your mother like that? Are you fucking crazy? And my mom hugged him, and she's like, "I've never laid my hands on him. Thank you so much."
Oh
my mom
God.
co-signed the slap from my high school coach. So yeah, shout out to parent-teacher conferences. Shout out to any teachers or professors that we have watching the show. Thank you all for watching. All things Veterans Minimum, like I said, are at Veterans Minimum. Make sure you're following us. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Your Welcome Network. Shouts to Killer Cam and everyone over there. George,
Yes.
another tie, bro.
Can you believe this? We must have one of the best contests on ESPN. Like we have, how many wins was it this week? Was it another 13 win week?
10.
10. Okay, maybe we're not as good as I'm
Yeah.
thinking. We did have a 13 win week to start the year. Then I think we had like a 12 winner. And now 10 wins. It's a tie between Dimitri and Josh.
Yeah, shouts to Dimitri.
Congratulations.
He is used to be one of my training partners until he left the gym. He is tied with Josh. So we're going to do it again. Odds and evens. This time I'm going to make sure that I say it the right way because I still don't know if George said it the right way last week.
I did, bro. The Patreon, or by the way, the Discord like corrected us like immediately in the morning.
Yeah,
Thank
fuck
you.
yeah. Shouts to everyone in the Discord. Join the Patreon to join the Discord. All right. Odds is for Dimitri.
Yep.
Evens is for Josh.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to roll it.
Yep. This week it's all you.
It's all me. I'm going to roll the dice, and we're going to see who wins. All right. I think it's the fairest way for us to establish who the winner is going to be.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Again, Dimitri odds.
Yep.
Josh evens. Here we go.
It's
Shake
about
it.
to be.
This isn't my crank arm, so I'm a little uncoordinated.
Oh yeah, dude. That looks like gangly.
Oh, don't fall off.
I can't touch the dice. It's not my fault that you fucking rolled it that far, dude. You think we're at a
it's
craps
5.
table?
It's a 5. So we got a 2 and then we got a 5.
2 and a 5.
Well, 2 and a 3.
7.
It's a 2 and a 3.
It's a Is it a 3 or a 5?
It's
Nick?
a 3. It's a 5 in
Oh,
total.
it's a 5
is what
in
I meant.
total.
Yeah.
Okay, I was so confused. Okay,
Yeah.
so 5 in total. It's an odd.
Shout out to Dimitri.
Dimitri,
I
congratulations.
rolled that like such an. You see, I did tell you I was uncoordinated.
Yeah.
It was not. That
Wow.
wasn't the crank arm. So shit was a little awkward.
You
shout
really
out to
thought you were at a
Dimitri.
craps table, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Dimitri. We'll make sure to Venmo you, sell you, whatever it is that you want to accept the money. And remember, the NFL contest for week 4, it's up. It's in the description of the episode. It's free. We're giving away $50 every week. You can invest that. You could take it to the strip club for your entertainment. You could put a bet in. Whatever you want to do. Tail the anytime touchdown, even though we're 0-3, you don't want to be that guy that don't bet it that 1 week and then it hits. That's what you don't want. Nothing sucks more than that.
Yep.
When you're tailing someone's bets, shout out to Matty Betts. He does a cycle parlay. I bet it every week. I bet it $50 every week. He went on a crazy cold streak, but I'm loyal to the brand. I'm loyal to my dog. And then it hit. It hit a couple weeks ago. So you don't want to be that guy that don't tail the bets and then when it does hit.
That part.
Right? So, yeah, invest that money. Spend it at the right place. Okay, George. It's happening.
Oh, it's happening. I am so excited for you. The chants were heard. Maybe let's start with this. Is this a Daboll saving his job move, or is this the right move for the Giants?
This is, you got to do something to spark the franchise move. Chances are you're probably gone anyway.
Right.
In his first year as the Giants head coach, he won 9 games. In the last 3 years, he hasn't won more than 9 games. So the seat isn't hot. It's on fire. I made the comparison. Russell Wilson this year is Kirk Cousins last year. Where Kirk Cousins, you looked at his numbers and on the surface, you were like, he's playing well. It's like, no, you take away the 2 Bucks games that he played, where he threw for over 800 yards. He played like shit. He cost the team a lot of games. If you watch the Netflix quarterback documentary, I forgot when I was watching it over the summer how Atlanta had a 2-game lead on the Bucks when you made the 25-1 call on them to win the division. You forgot how many games this guy cost them because, one, it was coming off the Achilles and he wasn't fully healthy. He wasn't mobile and he was just making a lot of bad decisions. And I felt, and I said it on Monday, that it was leading towards that with Russell Wilson. Oh, he just had a career day at 36 years old. He had a career day, 450 yards. And then you see what Caleb Williams and the Bears did to that defense with the Cowboys. Are the Cowboys just going to be a team where everyone's going to have a monster performance?
Right.
And that's what I think it was going to be. So it was a little misleading. The numbers were going to be inflated. So you heard the chants. I think when you saw that drive that Russell Wilson threw the ball out of bounds 3 times in 4 plays from the 5-yard line, that is, for me, I looked at that as someone that has completely checked out already. And is it difficult for you to turn your season around down 0-3? Yes, absolutely. I think the last time that happened were the Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson. They started off 0-3, and then you looked at their schedule and you're like, they got the easiest schedule left, and I'm pretty sure they banged out like 7 or 8 games in a row. So it has happened. Now, the Giants' schedule is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. However, we were talking about it with the guys in the control room when this move happened. Throw that sumbitch out there and see if he could swim, bro. Throw him in the deep end. You're going to have to play these teams anyway, right? They play Philly. So they play the Chargers this week at home. Then they play at the Saints. Then they have Philly, Denver, Philly. Perfect scenario. I would have liked for them to wait until after Philly, to be honest with you. But at that point, are you 1-7?
Yeah.
Are you 0-8? And now you're completely toast.
Daboll's fired.
Daboll is fired. Dexter Lawrence is probably traded because he's already frustrated. Neighbors is probably DMing Jaden Daniels like, yo, come get me. We play together at LSU. Come save me. Who knows who the fuck ends up getting traded anyway. So here you're providing a spark for the organization. Honestly, bro, he outplayed him in the preseason.
Yes, he did. But I'm not going to put weight into that. When I will look back at some of those highlight clips, bro, and I see the pocket and I'm like, the defense presented to him, I mean, it's not going to be anything like he's seen.
Yeah.
And so, and that's a fair assumption. He did look good. He came from an air raid style offense where I single-handedly witnessed him last year versus Arkansas throw for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's got it in him. I came back in and I said, I think this might be the best quarterback in this draft class. And as of right now, he definitely has the opportunity to do so.
You know, everyone always says, "Oh, it was the preseason. He played against backups." Well, he played with backups too. So
True.
If you're gonna say one thing, it's, you know, Neighbors wasn't out there, Robinson wasn't out there, the offensive line, the starting offensive lineman Thomas wasn't out there, bro. You saw Thomas those first 20 snaps. The offensive line looked good. He should win Protector of the Year. Shout out to, I forgot your name in the comments, man. I apologize on Instagram, but you said Deion Dawkins for Buffalo. Hell of a pick. Hell of a pick. The anchor for that offensive line. Definitely wanted to give you your roses for that. But Andrew Thomas, when he's not in the lineup, it looks like a complete mess. So when you say he played against backups, well, he also played with backups. He didn't have a top 5 wide receiver in Malik Neighbors out there. He didn't have Wandale Robinson. He didn't have Scatterbull, who's been electric. Talk about a spark. He was the best thing for the Giants in that game against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. What it comes down to is this. The organization has been really shitty for about a decade. The 2 playoff bursts that happened in 16 and in 22 kind of set the franchise back. It was a Band-Aid on the organization that needed fucking 150 stitches. That shit ain't gonna get healed up. You heard the crowd. They're just fed up, bro. You're paying money for these season tickets to go see that? It's frustrating. And why not? Throw him out there. And the other thing we were talking about with Jory last night when we were in the control room, do you remember what the Cardinals did a couple years ago with Josh Rosen? They took him top 10. And you know what they did the next year? They took Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Because they got a new coach. And they were like, yo, bro, you know what? Josh Rosen, you ain't it. We thought we invested a first-round pick, but the good teams, and even though Arizona's not a model franchise, I always respected them for that, because a lot of times what happens in the NFL, NBA, almost every league is, dude, you were a first-round pick. I could save them.
Mm-hmm.
He was a first-round talent. I could save it. It's like, nah, bro, sometimes you come into the league and it just don't work out for you. Situationally, the organization, injuries, teammates, all that shit factors in. However, I commend the Cardinals for that, because Kingsbury said, yo, I coached this dude. I want him. Yeah, but we took a first-round pick. No, I want Kyler Murray. And say what you want about the guy, when he's healthy, he's pretty productive. He's actually one of the best quarterbacks against the number as an underdog. He's an underdog on Thursday Night Football against the Seahawks. But that's what teams struggle to do. And then when you're a free agent, if you're a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick, it's a lot more difficult for you to get a contract as opposed to, yo, he's a first round talent. I saw Eric Flowers continue to get contract after contract because he was a first round pick. Where the fuck is he now?
Yeah.
So the Giants, as an organization, it's just been really frustrating, and I think it's gonna ignite a spark. And I told you this over the summer when I was like, yo, bro, the ceiling for the Giants heading into week 1, if you start Russell Wilson, you're a 7-win team at best. You know what he is at this point. With Jaxson Dart, the unknown, we've seen this happen with CJ Stroud. We saw it happen with Justin Herbert. We saw Pat Mahomes his first year as a starter. We saw Jaden Daniels. It happened last year.
Yep.
Bo Nix. It is the element of the unknown. And then what happens? We also talked about this too, bro. You're someone you're engaged. You have a fiance. When you started dating her, you treated her different. You were more excited because you're like, yo, she's the one. There's something about her that's special. So you were more excited for the dates. You were putting on your best outfits. Where now with Russell Wilson, they were just like, so the offensive line don't play as good. The running backs don't run as hard.
There was
receivers.
Numerous times this past Sunday where I saw receivers jogging, and seeing Malik Neighbors after the game with OBJ and the facial expressions that I was reading and the body language was just like, we're in trouble. And I don't care to play here anymore. Now, I mean, it's rolling the dice, similar to what you did earlier with this move right now, because now it makes the Jameis Winston acquisition look even stupider. And like, it's just like we wasted time and reps. Like, that shit matters in the NFL. He single-handedly was taking away reps from Jaxson Dart at some point in time. So I really like the Giants this week. I saw that you put in a huge Jaxson Dart to go crazy, which would honestly just be like average day for any star quarterback is the parlay that you put in. It was like his over for passing yards was like 194. I was like, I mean, they're definitely going to be losing. Like, how is he not going to hit this?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
What was it? Yeah.
It was 33-1. Giants money line. Jaxson Dart to score a touchdown, to throw for 2 touchdowns, which was like plus 250, and then for him to have 194.5 passing yards. And I just called it the generational debut parlay. Why not? You know, listen, my default is always I spend money on worse, and why not? Right? Jory's shaking his head in there. He's like, yeah, bro, you don't want to be, like I said before about the anytime touchdown, you don't want to miss out on something you're going to tell you.
On the unknown, because it's a free roll. Like, this is a 33-1 free roll. Nobody can tell you you're stupid for putting this in.
You don't know.
Because you don't know. The talent's there. And a lot of games so far this year, especially with teams that are favorites, like the public tailing big favorites in a situation like this, it hasn't worked out well for everybody so far this year. Got a stat to back that up later on in the show. But I'm excited to see this. I told you I'm not a believer in the Chargers. And I think that this game is going to be more of like a duke it out. I don't necessarily see like the scoreboard getting lit up.
Yeah.
But a 20-13 win late is what I envision.
What would be a win for me on Sunday is he looks competent. He looks comfortable. The team is inspired. Think about the defenders, bro. They played well against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They made some stops, even with the PI calls and some of the defensive holding calls. They played fairly well. Thibodeau balled out. Abdul Carter was like, okay, now I understand. Spying and rushing. Brian Burns is top 3 in the league in sacks. They look good. And I wonder what the impact for them is going to be, knowing that, it's not going to be a 3 and out every time. You know, you just made a stop on 3rd and 7. They punted. And then 4 minutes later, like real life minutes, not game minutes. Oh, fuck, we're out. Where's my helmet? I got to go back out there again. So that all matters. The team is inspired. And the last thing I'll say on this, and without trying to sound like one of these red pill losers on the internet, this is a prime example, ladies, if you're watching this or hearing this, as a lifelong sports fan, when you hit your 30s, we want the new young thing, bro. It's just how it is, right? Like, Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl champion. He's made the Pro Bowl. He's been a staple of an organization, the face of an organization, gave the Seahawks a lot of great years, but he's past his prime. We want that hot 22-year-old to step in there, bro, and let's get a free roll. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't blame us fellas for wanting that new young thing.
It's
bro.
all we've ever known.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're literally watching it.
As a sports fan, this is how we've been. When an athlete turns 30, we're like, he don't got that same explosiveness as he once did, bro.
Yeah, you look at the watch and you're just like, it's not giving me the same minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's a couple of like mature players that
Listen, there's a couple of LeBrons,
bro. Are you kidding me?
Not a couple. There's one LeBron. There's a Brady, a Durant, right?
Aaron Rodgers
still doing that. But then there's also the Kirk Cousins and the Russell Wilsons.
Yep.
So chances are you're more that than the latter. So that's all I'm saying. Don't be mad. It's part of life, right? It happens. So I'm excited for the hot 22-year-old this weekend, baby.
That's so funny.
Jaxson Dart, let's go. Bring us to the promised land. Hey, give me like 200 yards passing, no turnovers. Maybe you tie it with a minute left, and then Herbert goes down and kicks a field goal and like breaks our heart again, which is on brand for the New York Giants.
But they cover.
But they cover the 6.5. Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later. So that's all I'm saying, man. I'm excited for this. It's throw them out there, bro. Throw them out there. Let's see. And look, maybe he's abysmal. Take a quarterback next year. Do the Arizona Cardinal thing. I don't think so. People in football are very high on him. We have sources with the Giants that are saying that the locker room is very excited. So throw him out there. Let's see. You know the crowd is going to be really fucking excited. And let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
He does have one of the coolest looking chains I think I've ever seen a quarterback wear. That like diamond encrusted. It looks like a football's. Like instead of like Cuban links. It's very unique. I wonder how many drives he wears that until it gets absolutely torn off his body. I heard Baker Mayfield on Mic'd Up from this past week. He had his chain ripped again. And he's like, man, this back-to-back weeks. I got to stop wearing this fucking chain. I don't understand how you can play football with a chain on, to be honest.
Bro, I remember playing sports as a young kid. They would always say, like, yo, no jewelry on the field.
Yeah.
And now you seen what Justin Jefferson wears?
Oh, my God.
Bro. You think it's like a distraction? Like the DB is like, God damn, whoa. And then he's running by him?
Yeah, no. I mean, I would
shit
just.
It's crazy.
It is. But it's like at the same time, I wonder how many of them are like the really good fakes because they know like, bro, I'm not going to wear something that's $250,000 around my neck during a football game. Like, let me just wear the $250 one that I got on Amazon. I wonder, that would be a good question for some of these people. Like, are you wearing your real jewelry out there? Interesting.
Yeah, that would be. Let us know what you guys think about Jaxson Dart starting. And, you know, let's hope.
Bro, see,
I'm down bad, bro. It's been bad.
It's crazy. Bro, you are getting to experience it and have fun with it. Like, there hasn't even been a inkling of Tyler Shook starting for the Saints. I mean, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
We're a bit like just very, very bad. But I'm excited that you get to be excited week 4 here, man. Reinvigorate yourself.
Yeah, and look, if they could pull an upset this week, then they play the Saints, and then they go to Philly.
Look at the look on your face.
I don't like that.
Is so fucking delusional. I love it. Let me. This is what we live for, bro.
Let me have this, baby. Let me have this. All right. One more topic I want to discuss, George, before we get into our interview and then some of our picks. Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, they got into it on the sideline once again. When you saw and heard this, what were your initial reactions?
I think this is part of their playbook. I think when you have a really good offensive mind and a really like a generational offensive player in Travis Kelce, like this happens. This is just what a player and coach will do in the midst of battle, and it means absolutely nothing. Just like how it has these past couple of years. I wanted to look up Travis Kelce's stats here real quick. Travis Kelce currently has 10 receptions, 17 targets. He has 134 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. 2 explosive plays. So I think his usage rate compared to last year around this time is honestly higher. I feel like last year it was the Noah Gray show until about week 16, and then Travis Kelce entered the scene and started to pick up his production. But bro, I'd be frustrated too. Like you think of yourself as like this godly offense, and it's looked really pedestrian for 3 weeks in a row. 21 points scored, 20 points scored, 22 points scored. This is what they did last year, and they got lucky because of their 1-score wins. They had won, 18 in a row up until this year. And now we're starting to see the side effects of that. And if you can't put up a lot of points, then it's going to cause mass hysteria. I feel like the Taylor Swift meter in the NFL this year is down. Would you say the same?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, it just hasn't seemed as... Like, the only thing I've heard of it this year was when the Giants just this past week did the the Taylor cam and they showed Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Getting to smoke a cigar, by the way, inside a stadium, that's badass.
I mean, bro, you're talking about a original cocaine cowboy, one of the wildest players of all time.
It just looks so cool.
And to many people's eyes, the greatest defensive player ever.
Yeah.
So it brings up the debate of, do you let someone be wild and reckless if they're productive?
Yeah.
Because maybe that was his PEDs, right? Just being fucking coked up out on this fucking, like,
Yeah.
Joe Theismann come here, ended his career and shit, just being like fucking wide-eyed like that. Yeah, that's a PED, bro, for sure. So it was one of my favorite Hall of Fame speeches ever. Bill Parcells is like, yo, make sure where you put the bus, you know, the statue, he's like, I'm looking at Lawrence Taylor so I could keep my eyes on that sucker. Because he would tell him, there's like famous stories of like, hey, man, bus leaves at 10 a.m. for the stadium. You better be there. And he's like, he was always there. He was always there. But for some people, it works. So other people, it doesn't.
Right.
So in regards to the Taylor Swift thing, yeah, it's kind of old news now.
For sure.
Right? We're going on, this is the third football season that they're an item. So it's not as exciting as it once was. I never had an issue with it from the beginning. It was like, bro, everybody complaining about Taylor Swift being on the camera. It comes out to like, I think up until the Super Bowl last year, she was on the screen in 2 years for about 112 seconds. So it's like, bro, half the time you don't even notice it. You're on your phone and shit. They show Taylor Swift. They go, it's like, all right. And she's also the most famous person on the planet, or in like the top 10 for sure. So yeah, they're going to show her, and it's done great for his podcast. His podcast got sold for $100 million. The wedding is going to be, if you know, the massive event and news coverage. So yeah, like it lost its luster a little bit because it's kind of played out at this point. It's not as shocking.
Is it because the Chiefs are 1-2 and they haven't looked good? Well, I think it's a mix.
It could be a mix. Well, I think also here's what happens with Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. They've had this instance before, but what happens is in the past they were winning. So in the past they'd go on the podcast and laugh it off like, that's my guy, man. I love Andy Reid. And I'm not saying he doesn't love Andy Reid, but bro, listen, in the heat of the moment, when you're a competitor and you're an athlete, you get into it, bro. I've got into it with some of my best friends playing football. Some of my teammates, someone drops a pass, you're like, come on, bro, you heard us there. It's like, yo, throw a better pass. Nah, man, you got to bring that in. Yo, bro, you missed that layup. You fucked us there. Like, oh, man, you know, you could have passed it to me earlier. Like, it's going to happen. It's in the heat of the moment. You can't take that too personal. It's two people that really care about their thing. And you know what this kind of reminds me of also? What I've always said about when you're winning, people give you passes for shit. And when you're talented and you're winning, people let a lot of shit slide. When you're losing and you're not as productive, he's no longer a top 5 tight end, just from the numbers.
Yeah.
And when you see him out there, it's like, oof, he's become a blocking tight end, borderline tight end number 2 from a productive standpoint. They still try to run the offense through him, but he's just not as electric, right? Even that touchdown he scored in Brazil. Sorry, was it Brazil? Yeah, in Brazil. It just looked like he got open, and it looked like he was slow as shit in that game, you know? Or I'm not sure if it was the Chargers game, but anyway, one of the touchdowns that he broke coverage, he just looked really slow. So it's just you're not as productive, right? Have you ever had a friend of yours, a girl, date someone, and the first like 6 months, the comments are like, my dream guy, my world. Oh my God, he takes initiative and plans cute dates for us. Or he's so assertive.
I have seen this.
Right? And then 6 months after that, you're like, yo, what happened to your world? Pfft, he was controlling. What a narcissist. All these big ass words that I don't even know what the fuck they mean. Well, what happened? He's doing the same shit, isn't he? Well, at first you liked him. Now that you're not with him, now it's a problem. Now he's controlling. Now he's demanding. But in the beginning, it was, he tells me to be ready at 8 and he'll handle the rest. That's so hot. But now he's a piece of shit because y'all not together. It's kind of the same thing here. When Travis Kelce was productive, this was a no story. This was like, oh, look how passionate they are. It's the same shit. Remember Odell Beckham Jr., when he was with the Giants, put up a compilation on Instagram. Not that kind of compilation, you freaks. But he put up a compilation where it was Tom Brady reacting, like taking his helmet off and like being all fired up. And everyone was like passionate, cares about his teammates, dedicated. And then it cuts to Odell doing the same exact actions. He's selfish. He's a diva. It's all about him. Why? One guy was winning, the other guy wasn't. So same action, two different results because of context and time.
It's good analogies. You're full of analogies today.
I'm excited about Jaxson Dart, bro. Don't let me down. That's why I'm so locked in.
Are you gonna
What are your thoughts,
Are you gonna go put highlight tapes on of Jaxson Dart when you get home tonight? Like, you should do like the most Giants fan thing ever and create your own highlight tape for Jaxson Dart before the game this Sunday. Can I give you that assignment?
Sure. I might be live streaming that whole game. Yo, bro,
Play
listen.
by play, dude.
I'm a fan of the unknown, right? My whole life I've been a risk taker. I've always tried to bet on myself, and I rather trade a sure thing or a known thing for the unknown. I like it.
Success lies in the uncertainty.
That's deep. That's a bar.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. And you know, like, shout out to Jory. He was on Sway, and he said something. I texted him about it, and I wrote a comment on his page about, like, you know, you got to be, not in so many words, but like being undeniable and being such an asset and being valuable. And that's kind of like, whether it's Travis Kelce, whether it's a Russell Wilson or a Jaxson Dart, it's like, yo, you got to be so undeniable in your craft that you have to know your role to be an asset to whoever it is you're paired up with or working with or associated with. And that's why, whether it's a Jaxson Dart, a Russell Wilson, Travis Kelce, all that shit is important. And if you're productive, they'll put up with any BS that they got to deal with.
Facts. Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you.
I'm worried. I'm excited. I'm anxious. I'm nervous.
I feel like I'm your therapist right now. Like,
yeah,
you're
man,
like
listen.
telling me, you're like,
look,
man, this is for the last 10 fucking days. I haven't seen success.
When dudes turn 30, they turn to either podcasting, marathon, or jiu-jitsu. Luckily, I was doing 2 of the 3 before I turned 30. But yeah, this is a therapy session.
Damn, marathoning is hilarious.
Marathon. Tell me not, right? Mad fucking dudes turn into marathon runners. Like, what are you running for, bro? Running sucks.
Yeah.
Running is so trash. Fucking hate running.
Universally, probably the worst thing in the world. Like swimming, way better.
Yeah.
Biking, way better.
Yeah. But just like,
Speed walking, elite.
sure.
I speed walk through this casino every time. I feel like I'm a running back sometimes with the way you have to just plant, cut, get upfield. You know what I mean? I'm always north-south. I'm never looking to go east-west. So speed walking's elite. All right. Matt, we gotta rank those one day.
We do gotta rank those one day. Okay, let's do Patreon. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum for $1 a month. We are at 479 members of the Patreon. $1 a month. That's all we're asking for. You get access to the Discord, the betting picks. Remember the betting picks in the event that you missed the episode. It's basically what we talk about on here. If you don't have enough time throughout your schedule to consume the podcast, which is free, right? You can just go and get all the picks there. We got soccer, UFC, football, the whole nine. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum for $1 American dollar. All right. We got a very special guest. I truly believe that she is a superstar in the making if she's not already. I told her this the first time that I met her when they came out to Vegas for Summer League. It was the first time that I met Mace and our guest when It Is What It Is came out here to film. She came in early, and the moment I met her, I was like, yo, you definitely the glue for all this shit. Because being prepared, the topics, the whole nine. A woman of many talents.
Nick, stop. Stat. In person, You are so.
Bye. He was like, I have to take the moment. I have to take the moment.
No, you're beautiful. But
Thank you so much.
Not in a creepy way, okay? I guess let's start there, Nick. She's
Treasure Wilson.
One of the best in the industry, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. It's really weird being like not the one interviewing and like being the person like getting asked questions, but it's time. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, fuck yeah. Thank you for your time as always. I know we were eventually going to make this happen, but I figured, you know what? Why not have her on this week? You know, it's a lot of things going on in the stat atmosphere.
A lot.
The atmosphere.
The stat atmosphere. Yeah.
The statosphere.
So one thing I want to start by is I really meant what I said there, for real.
No, I appreciate that.
'Cause,
Because you
like-
did say that, even off camera. Like, this is true. This is not like because we're on the desk, let's just say this.
Yeah,
Like,
like you really and now working with you guys for about 2 years now and being such a big part of the team, I just see that shit. And like, there's a lot that goes on that people just think you show up and, oh, we get records going. It's like, nah,
just fine.
you putting the topics together. You got to look right on camera. You got to be able to moderate.
Yeah.
You got to be able to host.
Yeah.
You got to give your stats as stat girl, stat baby, the whole
Shout out,
nine.
Mike.
Shout out to Michael Irvin. What would you say is the craziest thing you've learned in the sports media space? This is a 2-part question, but part 1 as a woman in the space.
I mean, like Nick's. First of all, am I looking at you or am I looking at the camera?
No, you're looking at it.
Okay, first off, to Nick's point, yeah, I think I do way more than people expect, and that's fine. Like, I don't feel like I have to explain myself. If you think I just sit up there and just read, cool, you can think that, but the people who know what I do, and I try to, show that by showing my personality, by having stats, by talking sports, by being funny, by showing my personality, by showing too much without showing too much. It's a lot of layers. I think the craziest thing that I've learned, I mean, first, I'm going to learn something every single day, okay? I'm not perfect. As people, well, you may know, you may not know, I started doing this right out of college. So it's like I was behind a desk, but I wasn't behind a desk in this type of thing where like the media and everybody has their opinions and comments and something to say about you. So I've learned a lot, but I think the craziest thing is probably the fact that like people are going to think that they know you and then they don't. And then also you can't always explain yourself. I think that's one of the most frustrating things because in real life, right, somebody comes up to you and says something that's wrong, you can just say that's false. Mm-hmm. And then that's that. The internet, everybody has 1,000,001 opinions. Like I've seen people arguing like, that's not stats dad, Cam's stats dad, or like, she didn't go here, she went here. And I'm like, you guys are all wrong. But if that's what y'all want to think, I'm at the point where it's like, cool, just so be it. That's how I feel. But I'm learning a lot every day and it's still a fun experience, but definitely a lot of things.
Like college can't necessarily teach you that. Like, so like, what were you doing in college compared to like a podcast that you do now?
So in school, like, well, first and foremost, I was always very smart, not to like talk myself up, but like in high school.
You gassed yourself up.
Yeah, in high school, I was class president. I did sports. Like I started clubs on campus. I did a TED Talk speech. Like I was just doing 1,000,001 things. So college was an easy transition for me because again, I was just doing 1,000,001 things. Like my freshman year, we had like a radio TV show style thing. Not a lot of freshmen did it, but I did it. I had an anchor spot for 3 different shows: our sports show, our entertainment show, and our politics show. So that's what I'm saying. I was just doing so many things. And I joined a sorority, and then I had real life internships aside from the school. And then I was working a job. Then I had full-time classes. Then I did a study abroad thing. So I was always doing things. And I think just my life experiences prepared me for this moment. I didn't really shelter myself. I wanted to experience life and I was never afraid. A lot of things that people are afraid to do, I was just like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna try it. And if I was bad at it, I wasn't like, let me go hide in a corner and never come out. Like I was like, okay, I fucked up, but let me just go do it again and continue to get better every day. So that's kind of, I feel like, what prepared me as a whole for this type of position that I have now.
Well,
a resume.
also, yeah,
That's a hell of a resume.
for sure. And I also like what you always talk about like the opportunity and being prepared, because that's what happened with me with Cam when I first met Cam. Maybe like 2 weeks before you guys all moved out here, he just called me. He was like, yo, bro, you know how to edit and produce? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, bet. And then he hangs up the phone. and then calls me, I think, bro, like Tuesday before you guys got here. He's like, yo, you gonna be my editor and producer? I was like, sure. He's like, yo, is this number good? I was like, this number's very good.
Right.
Yeah. And then that was it. And I bring that up because you got the opportunity to be the moderator kind of by accident, right?
It wasn't an accident.
So talk about like being prepared for that and not saying no to opportunity. Because if you would have been like, nah, I'm okay, I'd rather do that, your life is completely different.
Yeah, I think about that every single day. I think the biggest thing people do when they want to like go to that next level in their career is they stop themselves. Everybody always thinks that they're not qualified enough or they're not prepared enough. You're never going to be prepared enough. When the moment strikes, you quite literally have to be ready. So to kind of give a little bit of my story, I was in class. I literally had just came from class. First of all, I had to audition for the position. And then rightfully so, at the time, they thought I was a little young because I think I was like 21, 20. And, you know, the show is vulgar as it should be. I don't think they should change who they are. That's what makes the show how it is.
For sure.
They're like, do we want this girl up here, like, engaging in these conversations? And one of the days, Mace actually couldn't make it because when I did the audition process, he was like, we're just going to make you a content writer because I think you're very knowledgeable and I think you have a lot of room to grow. This is what Cam said to me verbatim. He's like, let's just, you know, have you stick around. It was literally only the third episode that they did. It wasn't like it was like 10 weeks later. It was the third episode. Mace had missed his flight. And Cam was like, yo, you want to come up here and debate with me? Like, I don't really have a fill-in for the show right now because it's so last minute. Okay. I had a dress in my car because I did the sports anchoring on my college campus, changed, did my makeup, went in there. I know I still look crazy because I was in college and you don't really got the funds to do what you got to do. But like, hey, I was up there. Cam still makes fun of the Crocs that I had. I don't care. I was a college student and it was late, okay? It was late. Went up there, debated, and he was like, wow, like, okay, you did your shit. And then even the comments, like, immediately, like, they grew a liking for me, and then he wanted to try me as the host position, and that's kind of how it took off from there. But I did not know that I was going to be a host, didn't think that any of this would happen, and then we can get there, but then there was the whole moving situation, didn't think any of this would happen, and it did, so it's pretty dope.
That's sick. Do you have any brothers?
No, everybody thinks that too. No, I only have one sister. I have a younger sister. You would think I was like,
because you just
dudes and like,
you mix well with them. So I was always like, oh yeah, she probably grew up around.
No,
like,
I had a lot of guy friends because I was always just super competitive, and of course, like back to just being super active at school. Like, I did have a YouTube channel, so I was the girl who was like doing public interviews and like
man on the street.
Yeah, but I was asking crazy questions, and I just didn't care. So like, maybe
what would you ask?
Like, okay, like I would bring up a girl and like rate her 1 through 10, or like, are you smarter than a 5th grader? And I would ask them questions while in school and they just weren't getting them correct.
I'd fail that shit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Now it'd be hard
Ask
going
Nick
back
to
to like, I
spell
don't remember
anything.
any of that
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yo, what's something you wish more people asked you about?
I don't know. What I wish people asked me more about? I mean, what people ask me a lot, obviously, is about sports and then how is it like, you know, working with Mason Cam and stuff like that. But maybe my other talents, like I really am a nerd. Like I really like anime. I really like video games. Like I like makeup. I really like chefing it up. I can cook. So like, or even honestly, I mean, not now, but I love talking about like politics, like the social state of the world, things like that. So that'd be pretty cool.
I was about to say, like, politics, when you said that in college and stuff, like who motivated you to want to be in front of the camera?
Yeah. Well, I think starting from, so I got my first camera in middle school and I just watched like the classic YouTubers. So I was watching like Joy Graceffa, PewDiePie, like literally the gamers. And I didn't really see a lot of girls doing stuff. Like I seen the makeup videos and I was like, okay, I want to be different. So I had my camera and, you know, I started asking questions there. And then I started really getting into news because originally when I went to school, I was going to do politics because I studied political science. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I can't be myself. I don't want to have to deal. Like, I just saw where things were going. And I was like, it should still be fun. Like, I'd rather you curse me out because you don't like my LeBron take versus you curse me out because I actually offended you with like, I was like,
feel
this
you.
is not the lane for me. I'm good. We don't go to sports, we go to entertainment. So I really motivated myself to answer that question.
It's
No, it sounds like it.
I have my college roommate is in politics.
Yeah.
And like he wants to be mayor, governor of New York, and like, you know, maybe one day be president. I'm like, bro, why would you want that clusterfuck? Like it's just so crazy and chaotic. I never talk politics at all. Don't plan to today, so don't worry.
No, you're good. But also you need people like that.
Right.
Who can do it.
For sure. But to your point about like, I'd rather someone argue with me about LeBron James or Tom Brady stats as opposed to who I might vote for.
Yeah.
Because that is like, especially nowadays, it's just so
Yeah.
crazy. This is the most politics we've talked on the show, so you can understand just how much we do talk about it. What are your favorite teams?
Okay, so football, Steelers. Basketball, Miami Heat. WNBA, Aces. Shout out the Aces because Asia Wilson's my favorite women's player. And that's it. I mean, like, this isn't a team, but like wrestling, really like Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
Damn.
she got hooked, bro. She can't.
That's crazy.
I got in touch with a couple people from WWE and we had them come into the studio. And stat to your credit, and I've told you this also, but on a public forum, I'll say it. I think if you just end up doing it is what it is, I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice. I really think you're a superstar, like I said.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Like you'll be hosting Emmys one day, Grammys, Oscars, red carpet shit. Like that's what your makeup is going to be. And we had these wrestlers come in, bro. And then they invited Stat to go to the event. And then before you know it, she's fucking ringside.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been watching wrestling for 20 years. I ain't been ringside.
Damn, bro, you were
She's
triggered?
she had the shirts.
Yeah.
She had all that. So wrestling is, what do you think of wrestling?
I love it. Like, guys, that was something I never expected because, like, I never watched wrestling. And then I did do the interview with Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE. And after that interview, I was like, okay, this is sick. Like, then I seen, like, Jade Cargill. Like, she's also, like, in the same sorority as me. Like, and then Naomi having her, like, spotlight. I was like, okay, like, Black women are doing this too. Like, let me go check it out. And then after I did the interview, a lot of people reached out to me because it was a really good interview. So if you guys haven't watched that, my interview with Bianca Belair, that is still up on It Is What It Is channel. Make sure you go check that out. After that, I'm sitting here watching Monday Night Raw every single week. Like, then I did get an opportunity to go do like some man on the street stuff, and they did give me, you know, ringside tickets, and I was like, wow, like this shit is crazy. Like, something that I love is like crowd energy and seeing people be excited about shit. Wrestling is unmatched. And then everybody has their own cool ass theme song. When they walk out, I'm like, okay, this is lit. Like, you can see it in different ways and everybody's just themselves. Nobody's trying to like fake a cool, like, I hate that. Like, just be you. Do what you love to do. Do what excites you. And there's a whole range of different people. It is a lot of dudes though, I will say, but I don't give a fuck. Shit was so lit, and now I love it, and hopefully I can go to WrestleMania when it comes around next year because I'm hooked. I love it.
Yeah, it'll be back in Vegas again. Not a bad place.
No shit, 2 years in a row?
Yeah. Something happened in like New Orleans with permits and shit, so they just brought it back to Vegas.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Super fine. So you mentioned the Steelers.
Yeah.
You always get made fun of for your flip-flopping with well, not with the Steelers. You're down with the Steelers, but like, you know, you didn't like Rodgers, then he plays well. You like Rodgers, then you don't like him. How do you just feel about the Steelers right now?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I never wanted Aaron Rodgers to be our quarterback, okay? And I don't think that that's wrong to say that. Second of all, Nick, I never flip-flopped.
That's not...
I have always been a Steelers fan. My father is a diehard Steelers fan, so those were my memories growing up watching the games with my dad, okay? As any fan, when your team does some shit that you don't like, you're going to be upset. Just like with a family member. If a family member does something that you don't like, you might argue a little bit, but it's all love all the time, okay? I am stuck with Aaron Rodgers for this season. Therefore, I do not have a choice but to support the man. But if he doesn't do well, I'm allowed to call him out, okay? Luckily, right now, for our division, we're tied with, the Bengals right now, 2-1. That's great for now. We still have the Ravens who are working their way up, and I am allowed to be upset because I know what we're dealing with, okay? Overall, it's like, I love Mike Tomlin as a coach. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL, and everybody always makes fun of the Steelers for being okay with mediocrity, whatever you want to call it, but the culture of being a Steelers fan is unlike any other. That's one of the first things that I love. We're very loyal, and we're loyal to our players unless some shit happens, which is why things happen with AB, which is why things happen with George Pickens. Unfortunately, George Pickens ended up in the Cowboys, which to me feels like a slap in the face. But if that's a better decision for him, that's the better decision for him. I just think that we made these moves that left us kind of stuck in the end because everybody's like, okay, we need a wide receiver. Then we get rid of George Pickens and we get DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is still not good enough, right? And then we have some really good players who are going to be around probably till the end of their career, like a TJ Watt. But if the whole team is not meshing, we're not going anywhere. Like, we just barely beat the Patriots, right? We barely beat. It was a good game versus the Jets, but it's still not enough. We got crushed by the Seahawks, okay? And we haven't even got to like real contenders yet. So of course I'm going to be frustrated. And I just feel like there's not really much of a solution right now because our offense is struggling. We don't have, like, we got some really good pieces on the offseason, even like Jonnu Smith, like tight end from Miami. Cool. Like, we got some really good pieces, but as we see, something is still not clicking. And so that's the Steelers' ride. I just to add on to this, because you guys are in a holding pattern right now, and based on like the offensive talent you have, you should be better. I did not know DK Metcalf was not leading the team in receiving yards right now. It's Jalen Warren. Crazy. Yeah. Absolutely but I'm not
crazy.
surprised. DK made a lot of drops too, so.
Yeah, but I also have never been a believer in an Arthur Smith coached offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw it with the Falcons, bro, and I was upset with it then, and now I'm seeing it again with the Steelers. And I'm backing the Steelers this year. I got Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin on a parlay, MVP and Coach of the Year. Love for that to happen. And I think it's still possible, but we got to see the Aaron Rodgers of old. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think they're letting him sling it the way that he wants to. Like, I want to see 45, 50 passing attempts. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck it. Like, change.
I just don't think he's that guy anymore.
That's what I was going to say. I don't really think he can.
You could scheme it up, though.
Yeah, I hear
you could scheme it up.
I always felt like Rodgers going to Pittsburgh was probably the best place he could go, because to your point about Mike Tomlin, he can't do like the fuckery he was doing with the Jets.
No, not at all.
Because Pittsburgh's going to back Tomlin because he's been there, and it's a stable organization. If you do that in New Orleans, you do that with the Jets, you saw what happened last year. It was a dumpster fire. So I think it was perfect. I just hate, like, the New York Giants, they just made a quarterback change to Jaxson Dart. I'm a fan of the unknown. Okay. Right? Like, you all of last year were like, Russell Wilson, not the biggest fan. He came out the gates hot. Right. Like, he threw for 400 something yards with the Giants 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But I felt like we were going to get duped because he's more of what happened in week 1 and 3 than he is in week 2. And like, that's the worst when you don't have an option moving forward. It's like, all right, so it's cool, Rodgers for this year. Anything less than a Super Bowl, you're going to be like, fuck.
Wasted.
Then what happens next year, right? Like with the quarterback position. So it's frustrating. But to your point, I went to the Steelers game when they opened up against the Raiders here. It was the home opener for the Raiders. It was like 70% Steeler fans. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all fucking travel everywhere. Yeah.
We always travel, and that's why it's so lit. Yeah. Like, you can see a Steelers fan anywhere, and automatically it feels like family. And that's something that I love about being a Steelers fan, and then it being passed down from my father. It'll always be there. Like, even I always think, like, dang, like, if I did choose my own team, what team would I choose? I would still go back to the Steelers.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Damn. Dang. It is culture, it's tradition. I was about to ask because, like, I've never got a chance to interview a Steelers fan. Yeah. Like, is Renegade on the playlist for the rest of your life? Like, on just repeat? Like, if I was a diehard Steelers fan at my funeral, bro, we're terrible.
Okay, my dad is like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I never knew how serious it was. So, do you like Renegade?
Yeah, I mean, by default, I have to.
Okay. But if you weren't a
By
Steelers
default, I have
fan,
to.
not a good a song? Not as good of a song as you
I
think?
will not answer that.
Okay.
No comment.
I can't put the Steelers fan in a bad position here.
Yo, you know, that's interesting you say that because, like, I wonder how much, because people pick their fandom over where they grew up
Of course.
and then, like, who your mom or dad rooted for.
Yeah. So for me, I even though everybody gets on me, I did grow up in Tampa. Growing up, I wasn't a Bucks fan, and of course, when Brady came over, everybody became a Bucks fan. And then my brain is like, "You're a bandwagon." So I'm one of those who feels like if you follow the player, like you are a bandwagon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, cool, that's dope," but I'm just be over here.
Stat, I would be remiss to ask you, or to not ask you the question. How did it feel when AB was sitting across from you and he was making too many compliments towards you and Cam had to step in and remove him from the show? How did that whole situation make you feel?
Yeah, so obviously, I'm not going to say obviously, because for people who don't know me, they probably didn't understand my reaction. I would think body language, okay, I'm at work, right? I have, my boss is here. That's still their man's, like that's their friend. All I know to do is just control the situation as best I can to keep the show flowing so we can get questions. You're here to be interviewed. You're not here to talk to me, right? So the advances kept happening, and there was a lot of advances that happened off camera. One thing that a lot of people don't know, and this is not to like beat a dead horse because I don't like continuously talking about situations that don't serve me, and I feel like that situation doesn't serve me, and I don't want that to be part of my story, but I will give a little bit more context for people who probably wondered why it got to the point that it did. I don't believe they heard, but when he had first came, right, we had started, and he said, "You're lucky I'm not behind the desk because I would violate you." That was the first thing that I heard, right? Camera rolls. I'm like, fuck. So at this point, it's not a situation where it's like, I don't feel like I can't speak up for myself, or I felt like it was at the point where he's going to do anything. Because I'm like, okay, something's a little off. I've never met him before. I don't really know how he is in a room. Maybe he's like this. Maybe he jokes. One thing I know as a woman in the sports field and a woman in the industry is like, unfortunately, guys make a lot of flirty comments or whatever, and I keep it pushing and then continue, and a lot of it doesn't get picked up on camera. This is real life. This is what happens. It's very different handling a situation when you're at work versus outside. Like if I'm at a bar or if I'm at the club or a different type of situation, So it was one of those situations that's like, I'm here to do my job. You're here to be interviewed. You're away from me. If something gets crazy or I feel uncomfortable, like I know I can tell them. I know I can tell security, because at the end of the day, I'm very protected and I never feel in danger. And I didn't feel in danger, but it's like, okay, you continuously keep doing this. And I did give Cam a look, so he kind of knew when I felt uncomfy. And that's when he stepped in, which one, I really appreciate him for that, because it's like, to be honest, it's like when you're in this type of role and you're around a whole bunch of men, a lot of people also don't know that I'm typically the only girl in the room, right? Production is all men. The guys sitting next to me are all men. The guests are usually men. It's just me, right? So honestly, a lot of times, like, you got to be able to hang, right? There's never going to be a situation where I feel like I said, like I cannot say nothing, but it's like, okay, boys are chatting, boys are talking. Like there may be situations where you might find somebody attractive. That doesn't bother me if you find somebody attractive. It's just like, if somebody's repeatedly telling you to stop, I'm telling you like, okay, like chill out. Cam's telling you that my boyfriend, is back there, which that was not even a public thing. So that was a whole bunch of things going on.
And for the record, it's even, I'm very flattered and honored that you guys think it's me, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not Nick. Yeah. Like to clear that up too. Like there are some things that of course I would like to keep private. So there's a lot of things that I still don't speak on. So in this situation, give y'all a little bit of context. I haven't spoke to him since, like, I don't know, but at the end of the day, like, I'm doing my job. There has been guests who have flirted with me before. And my bosses are aware because they have to be aware because we're filming, you know?
Yeah.
And not on some like, and when I say aware, like if it's something like this, okay, like they're a little, just so you know, so they're cool and we can redirect it, or like they'll walk out with me, whatever the situation may be. Like I just have to be honest about that. And even if I don't say anything, like some things go unsaid, like they can tell, right?
Yeah. And you know, the one thing, because so many people hit me up about this as I was close to it. The one thing that I would compare it to is, I've used this analogy with everyone. Like if I'm at a wedding with George and I see his fiance and I'm like, oh, she looks great tonight. He's not going to feel a type of way. If I say it 12 times, he's going to be like, yo, Nick, what the fuck we doing?
Yeah, 12 times. And that's no
kind of what
exaggeration.
happened.
Like, no exaggeration. It was that many times. And it's kind of weird explaining sometimes to men because it doesn't really happen the opposite way. Like if a girl's like, oh, like he fine, and tells you like you fine. You're like, thanks, Shawty. Da, da, da. She says it again. Okay, cool. But imagine like Shawty keeps saying, okay. And it's a little bit different for men sometimes. So yeah, like I just think the situation was handled very well. Like for me laughing, if you know me, I honestly laugh at everything. And that's just how I am.
That's a good defense mechanism.
I can't change who I am, y'all. Like
for sure.
That was a situation that you're on camera. You can't really do too much, right? And you just got to figure out what makes sense to you. And what made sense to me was letting the guys handle it because again, I know that I'm safe here. So I let the man handle it. And that's that. But I wish everyone well. I wish them the best. And, you know, I hope things are, you know, cleared up with him or whoever else it involved. Because I know a lot of people had strong opinions on it. Like, got to a whole bunch of, like, shows and things. And
it became a topic of conversation across the whole
and the only thing I can do is
world.
Go right back into work the next day and continue my job.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here to do.
You've handled it with class. You always handle it with class. That's the one thing that I definitely respect about you a lot. You like to keep it moving. You handled it with dignity, and it was dope. I commend you for that.
Thanks.
And I also appreciate you sharing this because, like, you know, we talk often when you know, I see you every day.
Yeah.
And you haven't told me all this. And I appreciate you sharing it on our show.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that a lot.
And I'll just add, like, I really haven't shared it with, like, like, obviously I tell, like, Cam and Mace after the fact, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, a lot of the times you got to figure out how you want to handle situations. And I think the biggest thing about why I'm saying it now is the fact that, like, not to drag it, because I don't think it needs to be dragged, but it's just like, you should be able to control your narrative. And I haven't been able to speak about it. And I'm not going to go make a post about it. That's just not who I am. But when asked, I have no problem discussing things because this is real life. We live, we learn, we keep it pushing, we go to the next thing. And I'm sure he knows, like, okay, like, you know, next time I'm chill out. And I know next time, like, if it makes everybody uncomfortable, I have no problem saying it earlier on the show, whatever needs to be done so it doesn't turn into a whole thing, you know?
Right.
But, yeah.
No, it's a good, I think you laid the textbook example for women in the industry as just to how to conduct yourself in that situation. And honestly, I work and produce a show for Rachel Yucatel, a person who's famous for the Tiger Woods cheating scandal. And she was silenced for years, and it's finding the right moment to come out and speak your piece. And I'm, like Nick said, I'm very grateful that you came on here today to do that. You're an awesome person. I feel like we gotta open up the
dude, you know how many
repertoire
times
for you on the show? Like, you're reading off the questions to these guys. I'm like, all right, I think we need to let Stat just roll with this shit.
And she'll start laughing when I say this. I always get on her case. I'm like, bro, you gotta speak more.
Yeah, he always
you
says
gotta chime in because it's such a cool dynamic where you got two completely different personalities. They've been celebrities and in the limelight for 30 years, and they have someone that's what, 2 generations, 3 apart. Way different perspective. Like she be telling them some terms and I'm laughing in the control room. We're all laughing because, like, I know them, but they have no, like, they didn't know what Riz was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
it's
funny.
like shit like that. And she just keeps them level played. And I feel like I always tell them, like, yo, I need more from you, yo. Like, you should chime in here and there.
Yeah.
And she does. She's been on fire since she came back from the break. So,
yeah, this new season.
Yeah. You've been locked in. I'm
really
super proud of
have.
you for that. So
I really have.
we've kept you long enough. We are a betting show. I would like to have you be a part of our parlay for this week. We like to pick one guy to score a touchdown. Who do you think is going to score a touchdown in week 4? It could be anybody.
In any game?
Any game, yeah.
Well, Ravens-Chiefs matchup, somebody got to score. And if I'm betting on somebody to score, I'll say Derrick Henry. He's been pretty consistent, so that would be the guy.
All right, Stag got Derrick Henry. Who do you got?
Josh Jacobs, 2 touchdowns.
2.
I don't care if I ruin it for this parlay and for the views afterwards. Josh Jacobs is scoring 2 touchdowns this week.
Okay.
It's happening. Who you picking?
You know, I love revenge games. I love what I call them yapping games. The cornerback for the Titans, Ladarius Sneed, he was asked about Nico Collins, and he's like, who? So Nico Collins is scoring a touchdown this week, baby.
Disrespectful.
So we got
to.
Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, and 2 for Josh Jacobs. As I punch it in here, it is 15-1. 15-1. So $10 wins you $150. That's our anytime touchdown parlay. Stat Baby, thank you for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
You are a superstar in the making if you're not already. Thank you for your time. We'll have all the social media plugs. Everybody knows where to find you. And again, I appreciate you.
No, of course. Thanks for having me. This is dope.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right, George, since we just did an anytime touchdown parlay,
Yes.
let's work in reverse order, right? So there's a week 4 picks now. Let's go in reverse order. I'll give you my anytime touchdown parlay for this week.
Hit me with it.
Okay. Anytime touchdown parlay. This pays 18-1. Like I mentioned before, Nico Collins, that DB Sneed on the Titans was yapping. They asked him about Nico Collins, and he said, who that? Don't threaten me with bulletin board material. I'm in. Plus 150 to score a touchdown. I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson. He's minus 200 to score a touchdown. At home, better splits going up against the Commanders. I like that. Not going to straight bet him. Going to be a parlay piece. So we got Nico Collins, Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua. Then
You're not afraid of the Colts secondary a little bit?
No, I think their secondary can be exposed. They haven't played an offense yet that could really
The Broncos
air it out.
definitely dialed some shit up
Yeah.
that makes me a little worried. Like, the shot plays are there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I saw from Adams last week, I was like, he's their deep threat guy. Like, Puka does all the dirty work.
Yeah.
And Adams is getting to do the big play fun shit at this point.
Well, dude, listen, that's a big reason why I was so high on the Rams this year, because the biggest downfall for them was in the red zone last year. Cooper Kupp was just not the same player that he once was. And Devontae Adams in the red zone has been prime his whole career. And he is the main reason why I was so high on the Rams. That addition that they made. And already through the first 3 games, it's coming to fruition. I think one of the main reasons why Puka Nacua has had the success that he's had has been because of Devontae Adams on the other side. And then vice versa. I think they complement each other so well. But I'm going to go with Puka. I think Puka gets into the end zone this week. And then I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is going to come in. He's going to be inspired. I think the Chargers defense can be had in the secondary, even though Derwin James underneath, I think he cleans up a lot. I made that bet that I talked about at 100-1. Now he's 75-1. Did I move the number? Fuck yeah, I did. I'm going to go with that shit.
Yeah.
So 18-1, Nico Collins, Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua, and Malik Neighbors. Anytime touchdown parlay.
Let's hit it. We got to hit one this year, Nick. I think this is the week. My white boy wasted parlay from last week fell short.
You were close, though, bro. Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns. Scatterboo scored a touchdown.
McConkey, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Higbee did get a shot. I didn't see this because I was on the plane, and I feel like that play was delayed, but I didn't know that he actually had a chance in the end zone, and Stafford missed him. Ooh.
Yep.
Fuck. All right, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. I would have been really mad at Lad McConkey. This week, I'm keeping it simple, even though 28 to 1 odds on this parlay here. I am picking on this New England Patriots defense. I saw last week what the game plan was near the red zone with the Steelers, and it was go balls to DK Metcalf. I envision the same thing with the Panthers' new acquisition, T-Mac, Tetroita McMillan, or what is his first name? Do you know how to pronounce it?
Tetaroya.
McMillan.
And I'll be honest with you guys.
Yes.
Not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce it. Sorry. That's why they go with T-Mac.
T-Mac.
Yeah.
Jump ball. It's going to happen. That's my first player at plus 170 on my anytime touchdown parlay. Second player. Almost went all Polynesians here. Marcus Mariota.
Little revenge game, bro.
Revenge game.
Yeah.
I love it. I've been trying to find those spots when it makes sense. Give me Marcus Mariota, who was prone to running a lot last week against the Raiders at plus 230. I love that one. And it's inside a dome too. It's fitting for Marcus. Then my last one. His 11-game touchdown streak ended last week. And he had one of the worst performances that he's had in a long time. Josh Jacobs to put in 2 touchdowns this weekend versus the Cowboys, plus 230. You parlay all 3 of those together, T-Mac score and Marcus Mariota, Josh Jacobs to get in twice, 28 to 1 odds. Book it.
Fuck yeah, bro.
The Cowboys are terrible. Let's just pick on bad teams, bad defenses the rest of the year.
I'm for it.
It's kind of my strat.
I'm for it. Listen, if you just fade if you just pick against a couple bad teams like the Eliminator contest, if you've been tailing the picks on Patreon, you should be alive. I'm giving you 4 different options with the teams that you're picking. Some, 4 picks. One of them is 3 condoms, ultra safe. Just get to the next week. The other one, we raw like Monday night, baby. We've used the Jaguars, we've used the Commanders.
God damn.
We've used the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting a little reckless over there. So follow that also. You get that on Patreon. Okay, let's get into the picks. Week 4 picks. All right, let's do a recap. On the year, Ursulita's 1-2. Becky is 0-2-1. I'm letting you down, girl. Sorry.
Fuck.
In this economy is 0-1 against the spread, 0-2 on anytime touchdown props. Toxic one, 3-0. So if you've been fading the toxic one, the big public dog that we've been highlighting, you're undefeated. And then Trust Me is 2-1. What's your record?
In total, I wanted to add the in total one because you're 6-7-1 right now. I'm 6-10. This is a huge week in our head-to-head combined record for all our picks. But my picks stand as such. Ursulita is 0-3. It's ugly. I haven't been able to figure out ugly, but I like pretty. My Becky is 3-0.
Someone is holding it down for the
I'm
boys.
holding it down, and if I do get to change the name, it will be Cameron, okay? That's for you, sweetheart. All right? Got it. I got to do that. If I don't do that, it's a rough morning. She listens to the show every morning as I'm waking up. That's the last thing I need is her chewing me out before she leaves the house. But we're not changing the name yet on the Becky pick. My toxic one is 1-2. My Trust Me is 0-3. In this economy, and 1-0 against the spread, 1-2 in props. Because last week I threw in a passing yard, so it can't be like any time touchdown. So I just changed that to props. But this week, Nick, what did I say on the show on Monday? We wake up on Sunday with an opportunity.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
As a good Lord intended, bro.
That's all you need. And it's on the Lord's Day, too.
Oh,
so
as the good Lord intended.
Okay, one thing I want to mention about week 4. A lot of these betting lines are awfully suspicious. There's a couple of lines where I'm like, that looks way too obvious. Vegas, what do you want us to do? That's how I've been
Can you
feeling.
point some out to me that you found fishy? Because, like, I'm struggling, bro. I'm struggling.
okay.
Like the Buccaneers plus 3.5 at home against the Eagles.
That one is fishy to me. And can I tell you why? That actually is my toxic one.
I love that.
My toxic one for this week is if you're going to back the Eagles minus 3.5, I'd be very, very careful. And here's why. The Bucs are smoked with injuries. They just lost Mike Evans. They still are short 2 offensive linemen. Chris Godwin maybe comes back. We haven't checked out the injury report yet because it's not out yet. They got a Buka. All 3 of their wins are comeback wins. They could easily be 0-3. I think the Eagles can be 0-3, but they're 3-0. Both these teams are 3-0. The Eagles have done just enough to win games. Hell of a comeback against the Rams. I think that if you're a Rams fan or if you're a Rams backer, we said that's one of the worst beats of all time. I think it's in the Hall of Fame already. But the toxic one, it's the Eagles -3.5 for all of those reasons. And look, if you're talking to a couple of friends that are Eagles fans, this has been the one team that has given them fits. Isaiah, would you agree as an Eagle fan, right? They beat them in the playoffs. They beat them in the regular season last year. There's just been this team, which it's weird because it's not in division. Like you would assume Commanders play them well. Like even when the Commanders were winning 4 games with like Taylor Heineke and Kirk Cousins, all right, maybe they were winning 8 games with Kirk. It's like this team would just beat them because it's in division. But for a team that is not in your division, they happen to always play each other because they either always win the division. So this is just a really, really tough matchup. And look, Baker Mayfield as an underdog, 15-7 against the spread with the Bucs covering by 6 points or more. Now, there are splits with and without without Mike Evans, but it's not as crazy as you would think. They're scoring 25 points a game with him, 23 points a game without him. 253 passing yards with, 215 without him. This is just a matchup that the Bucs have flourished in. For me, the toxic one of the week, I would not bet the Eagles -3.5. I would take the Bucs +3.5 if I was to bet. Dog or pass situation.
I love it. We'll stay with my toxic one since this one's going to make you happy. 71% of the bets this week are coming in for the Chargers -6.5, traveling all the way across to the East Coast to play the G-Men. And I have to read this off because it is a crazy 60% tail that you guys should have backing taking the Giants in this spot. 60% teams with 60% of the tickets coming in on them this season are 4-17 against the spread through 3 weeks, failing to cover the spread by 5.5 points. Through 3 weeks, that is the worst against the spread mark for those public bettors and the 23-year history that the Action Network has existed. The second worst was last year. Bottom line is the public is stupid, and we have to find where the public is going and fade them. And that's exactly what this pick is. And it's correlated with the Jaxson Dart dynasty beginning, as well as, bro, I said this a little more succinctly to Austin yesterday. Austin, our videographer friend, who's a really big Chargers fan. I'm like, that throw that Justin Herbert made that everybody's gawking over of him rolling out and hitting Keenan Allen to win the game, that only happens when you have a bad offensive line. You don't get the fucking crazy highlight plays from people standing clean in the pocket delivering darts. He was running around way too much. He had the opportunity. It's no different than the Anthony Richardson throw from last year, where it's like that throw is going to make everybody a believer in you. But that means you have a bad offensive line. I'm excited to see what the Giants defensive line does in this game. Do not bet the Chargers -6.5. That's my toxic one.
Yeah, you know, for me, I'm putting a record of 26-1 on the line with this one.
Wow.
Trust me, +6.5, the Giants.
Wow.
Now, there's a couple of reasons why, right? On a serious note. I don't like Justin Herbert as a touchdown favorite. I love him as an underdog. I think the unknown factor of Jaxson Dart stepping into this offense plays a role into this as well. I think you're actually going to have a home field advantage for the first time in, I don't know, since 2015, 2014 when Odell Beckham Jr. was there. The upside with the Giants is QBs who make their first start after week 1 are 12-24 straight up, but they're covering close to 60% against the number. So we just want to to be covered in this situation.
Yep.
And Justin Herbert has a record of 15-5-1 against the spread with Jim Harbaugh as a coach. For me, there's a lot of smoke being blown up the Chargers' ass, and you know what? Maybe rightfully so. I think the Chargers win this game, but I think the 6.5 is a lot.
Yeah.
With the unknown of Jaxson Dart. Trust me, 26-1 over the last year and a half. I'm putting it on the line. Plus 6.5 New York Giants.
Damn, you went back to the archive for that one. You hadn't even told me you're at 26-1 up until this point. But I do remember last year, I vividly remember as a social media manager having to type in Nick is just on a fucking heater right now.
18-5. I remember that vividly.
God damn.
Bro, it was the only thing that carried the show. We gotta be honest. We don't lie to the fans.
18-5?
Yeah.
Playoffs not counting? We're just counting regular season?
No, there was a couple playoff games there too.
You said 26-1.
26-1.
Got it.
Yeah, we have a push and then we have a loss.
You could see my confusion.
Yeah.
I was like 26-1 sounds fucking unreal.
26-1. I would have red Octobers on my feet.
Bro, I'm glad we cleared that up.
$15,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
okay,
trust me. Okay, can I give you my? No. Give me.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, I'll give you my
bad.
trust me. There's not a chance in hell that the Saints score more than 7 points this weekend. Saints at Bills under 48. I love it. The Bills are going to fucking clean the floor with them. The Saints are going to be in, let's just try to get to the locker room alive mode. They're going to be running the ball. This franchise sucks. Nick, fun stat for you. 676 days ago, which would be November 18th, 2023, was the last time Spencer Rattler won a football game. It's not going to happen this Sunday either. It's a boat race. I just have to read off this. They're not only 0-3 against the first quarter spread, the Saints that be this season, but they've been outscored 30-0 in the first quarter. Only joining the Browns to be the only two teams who have not scored in the first quarter so far this season. It's bad. Couldn't be any worse. And I'm just grateful that this game isn't in the middle of December, because it would look even worse seeing the Saints in all white going out there on a snowy field to get just thrashed. So Saints at Bills under 48. I was shocked a little bit by this line, because that line tells me right there that they think the Saints could score 16 points. It's like, there ain't no chance in hell they see the end zone, bro. Go ahead. What's your next one?
Remember what I told you earlier this year about Buffalo?
Yeah.
When they played the Jets? Are the Saints a piece of shit team?
Of course.
Bills 45-7. Give me the 15.5. I'm not being scared by this. It's the in this economy play.
Wow.
When Josh Allen is at home and they play a shit team, they blow them out. And I think it's a pad statting week. I think this is where you see James Cook has another 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen accounts for 5 touchdowns. This is where you do it.
Keon Coleman builds up his confidence.
Everybody. And the rounds. Let Shakir throw a pass. Let Coleman kick a field goal. Like, get crazy with it. I think it's going to be maybe half the eliminator pools are going to take the Saints. Going to take the Bills if they haven't taken the Bills already. I'm not afraid of this one, man. In this economy, Bills minus 15.5. I just think that when they play shit teams, they beat the shit out of them. And the Saints are a shit team. And it's back-to-back games on the road for the Saints. And now, look, I know they got blown out the week before also, but that's what I think you have. It's Josh Allen against Spencer Rattler, and sometimes it just comes down to that. So for me, in this economy, is
I think what we're not bringing into factor here is just like how Kellen Moore probably had those guys in the locker room Monday just fired up.
Yeah.
Ready just to not get embarrassed again. You know, Kellen Moore, the biggest motivator on the planet, Kellen Moore. He may last a year, bro. This is a 1-year experience with him. Go be a coordinator somewhere else.
Yeah.
In this economy, right? Was your Bills. In this economy for me, I can't tell you how much I love Josh Jacobs to score 2 touchdowns this week. It is without a doubt my favorite bet of the weekend. I couldn't make it my Becky because I wanted to give plus money for the in this economy bet, but I just love the bounce back factor. 16 carries for 30 rushing yards last week. Broke his streak of 11 games scoring a touchdown. I think that the Cowboys are terrible at defense. They've given up 2 rushing touchdowns in the first 2 weeks, and they give up 4 passing touchdowns last week. They're just it's a really, really, really bad situation. Josh Jacobs will see the end zone many times. By the way, I know 2 might seem crazy. I had to pull myself off the ledge to not put 3. I'm just, if you have the funds and you want to throw a fun bet in there.
A ladder? You want a ladder, Josh Jacobs?
Fucking ladder time. It's ladder time, but not for the show and the record. 2 touchdowns for the show and the record. On the side, ladder.
However, the perks of editing. If he scores 3 touchdowns.
We cutting that shit, bro. I told you he scored the ladder. The last thing I have on this game, since the Cowboys will be without CeeDee Lamb, is you had brought up the Mike Evans splits earlier with and without him. Without CeeDee Lamb in the lineup, which surprisingly, he's only missed 3 games in the last 3 years.
Super durable.
Very durable. The points scored for the Cowboys with him, 26.5. Without him, 13.5. Passing yards, 262 to 228. And they're averaging a touchdown and a half less each game without CeeDee Lamb in there. Meaning the Packers are going to keep running the fucking ball. That's why I love this. Go ahead. What's your next one?
I'm going to go with Ursulita.
Yep.
And it's really fucking ugly because this team is one of the worst teams in NFL history against a number. They've lost 10 straight games at home against the spread. Only 6 teams have done that, even though this team is on the road, just adding context to this. The Titans haven't covered the spread in consecutive games since September of 2023, over 2 years ago. Tennessee is 8-26-1 against the spread in their last 35 games. So you're looking at 26-8 if you've just been betting against the Titans. They're Ursulita, 7.5 against the Houston Texans. Texans, I think, are in trouble. The Texans are 0-3 straight up as big favorites this week. They're also 0-3 straight up. In the last 30 years, 3 different times has a team been 0-3 and then been favored by 7 or more. All 3 teams that week in week 4 have failed to cover this spread. It's in division.
Damn.
I really think if Cam Ward doesn't throw a pick 6 to start the game, I think you owe me a coffee instead of me owing you a coffee, which I still got to pay you for that coffee. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Texans, bro. I think they're struggling to move the ball if it's not Nico Collins. That's why I like him to score a touchdown when we were talking with Stat before, and he's a part of my anytime touchdown parlay. I think he's a guy that could score multiple touchdowns, and especially early. You know what I really like about Nico Collins? First touchdown of the game, plus 800. That's a good one. Feed him early, feed him often. I like that. But I'm worried about the Texans. I think their offensive line is really bad, and the Titans can rush the passer, and it's in division, 7.5. I'm going with Cam Ward and the Titans as Ursulita.
I think this back-to-back weeks you went with the Titans.
I know, bro.
You really you like what you see in Cam Ward. I feel so bad for him, bro, because I can see aura and like good quarterback, and it's just going to be ruined by this franchise. Cam Ward will be really good in about 4 years when he changes his teams. That's kind of what I'm envisioning.
What's your Ursulita?
Jets plus 3.5 at Miami. There's a lot of stats going in favor of Tua versus teams in New York, specifically the Jets. 5-0 straight up, 3-2 against the spread in his career, beating those Jets by an average of 14.2 points a game in those matchups. This is a Ursulita bet strictly because the coaching hot seat is very, very, very present for Mike McDaniels. And I think that the Jets looked their absolute best the last 15 minutes of football they've played. And if I'm going by what was your last quarter like, I think this team could come in here reinvigorated with Tyrod.
Yep.
I heard it corrected on the cast. It's not Tyrod. Tyrod Taylor. He's looking all right. I think that I'm going to be sweating this one out. But Jets plus 3.5 is my Ursulita pick. That is 0-3. So I went with the pick that I would least expect me to pick, and that was it. Are we on our last one yet?
Yes, we are on the last one. For me, Becky this week, I think it gets on the board. I really like Atlanta as a 2-point underdog at home. I love Atlanta at home. I like Michael Penix Jr. at home as an underdog in this spot. They looked so bad last week, bro. Got blown out, got shut out in division. They play better at home than they do on the road, even though their one win this year was on the road, but it was also indoors. So I think that has to play a role in it. One of the reasons why I liked Atlanta this year was because a lot of their home games were at home. Look, Bijan Robinson, 3 straight games over 100 yards from scrimmage. Think this could be a Bijan 2 touchdowns, have an eruption spot. We need one of these.
We do.
Like if the Rams could hone in on Jonathan Taylor and then Bijan has a nice monster game, might be looking at the favorite after week 4 for Offensive Player of the Year, which would be fantastic. So I like the Falcons at +2 at home. I like them to win outright. So any plus number you could get there, I'm on that. What's your last one?
I have to roll it over from last week. Give me the Colts plus 3.5.
Again. Wow.
Same number.
Wow.
I like this team a lot. Daniel Jones, indoors, 9-3 against the spread. Outdoors, 29-33. As an underdog indoors, 8-2 against the spread. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this Colts team. The very last stat that I'll provide here, even though they are playing the action-packed Rams, a defense that they have not faced yet, a pass rush that Daniel Jones is going to feel like he's back in New York. Shane Steichen, in the months of September, October, and November, 18-8 against the spread. He's 3-8 in December or later against the spread. So he's an early season coach. I think this team is riding a hot hand right now. I like it. Colts plus 3.5. For my undefeated Becky.
Wow.
3-0.
Yo,
Be 4-0.
this is something where if they win this game, you're looking at them as a legit serious contender for sure. I think they're a serious contender.
MVP numbers will definitely
Yeah.
for Danny Dimes.
Yeah, it's a good week. A very, very suspicious week, though. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. Make sure you're a subscriber to the Patreon. Make sure you follow us on all social media outlets. That is this week's episode. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. Shout out to Stat Baby, Treasure Wilson, for coming on the show. Shouts to everyone in the control room. Shouts to all of you watching, listening, following, subscribing, rating, reviewing, commenting, all that fun shit. At Veterans Minimum, as you can find all things VM. George, anything you want to plug?
At Mr. George Carmona, Hogs by 1,000,000 this weekend versus Notre Dame. If you're Catholic, double birds, bro.
Wow.
Double birds to all the Catholics out there. Notre Dame's going down.
Aren't you Catholic?
Not Saturday.
Not Saturday.
Fuck that.
All right, fair enough.
I'm an Arkansinian on Saturday.
Peace.
I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.